Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is the third video where I'm showing you Dina Wakley's Collage Collective. This is Collage Collective 2, Volume 2. If you missed Collage Collective 1, check out my previous video. I'll put a link below. And I also have a Collage Collective 2, Volume 1. And I'll put the link down below. So once again, I'm just going to show you the flip through. Remember, the first 15 pages are a set of patterns on really thin copier paper, like 120 GSM, just a little bit thicker than copier paper. And then the patterns repeat on a thicker sheet, so thick cardstock at 270 GSM. So that's the first 15 pages, and then the patterns will repeat. So that first one is over here, and that's the thicker paper. And there you go. So I loved, I must say, each time I had each book, I thought that was the best one. So they each have their pros and cons. They each have their pros, I should say. There are no cons. I loved this one because of the washi tape here. The petals are washi tape. That's pretty cool. Loved this one. I think I will try to reproduce that. But I must say that this one here really has me interested. This is the burlap sheets, and I think, where is my book? I think so far all I've been doing with that burlap page is sort of just pinning things on it. I'm not really drawing on it. The only thing I've drawn was on the linen, I think this one. The only thing I dared to stamp and color on was the linen, and it's very faint, lovely texture, but I have not done that on the burlap. The burlap has just been sticking and stapling. So I think that we are going to go for this one on the burlap, which really has me excited. Might work, it might not. It's a learning lesson. You know, this is my art journal. I can do whatever I like in it. So let's see how this one turns out. So I've just set everything up here, and I'm going to be using the burlap page on the right. I have decided to reach for my Dina Wakley Scribble Sticks. This is the first volume, and what I'm doing is just picking the colors that I see in her page. So I've got the green, the orange, and then I'm going to go for the red, the pink, the purple combination, yellow. I'm going to reach for the black in a bit, and there is blue in there as well, and I will be using that. So this was a learning curve. I thought this was quite interesting, and yeah, this is really interesting. So I thought at first I would start with just blocking in the flowers, but I actually then stopped and thought, okay, if I was drawing, what would I do? I'd use a pencil to sketch. And so I reached for the black, and I just very loosely put in the elements that I needed to get this page done. So I did the 3 main flowers. I then did the 3 sort of daisies, orange daisies, I think that's what they are. I'm so bad with names. I'm then adding the leaves, trying to not overcrowd, but trying to add enough elements and sort of in the same place that Dina had them. So it's interesting using the scribble sticks. So what I was doing was I was dipping into my jar and then adding to the burlap, dipping in my jar and adding, and that was annoying. So I've just put a little bit of water here on my palette, and I am wetting the tip of the scribble stick, and then it creates like a creamy pigment. But then it was soaking into the burlap, and I was worried about, if it was going to be transferring on the other side, which you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about because it doesn't. But what I was doing was I was soaking it, and then I was trying to rub it across the burlap and see so there's nothing on the other side. And didn't feel like I was getting good definition. I didn't feel like I was creating solid color. I mean, it's interesting because it's not like another surface or any of the other surfaces that I've ever worked on. So it's just so faint, and I'm like really dissatisfied. But then I did remember that art is all about layers. So let's just go with the first layer. So my first layer is just generally blocking in the colors. Where are all the colors going? Have I created, the composition in place? And I don't even know if I did that. I'm just, I'm using Dina's page to guide me with composition. I'm putting colors, blocking in colors where they need to go. And then I'm going to work on making it aesthetically pleasing to my eye and making it look arty and not just like, something a kindergarten kid did. I go back to the paints now, and this is where I started having fun, and this is where I started enjoying it. So I started off first with the yellow, and then I added the orange, and where the scribble stick is water soluble and it just got absorbed by the burlap, the paints are plastic, and they actually coated over the burlap, which made a lovely sort of layer, and I quite enjoyed the look and the feel of it, and I started really enjoying working on the burlap. Now I do keep checking to see what's happening on the other side, and I don't have to worry from this point on because it's just very faint seepage through to the next page. So here's where I sort of play, and I'm blending the colors together and starting to just zone out and enjoy what I'm doing. I do occasionally look over and see how Dina has placed her colors. I think that this lesson for me was all about learning how to work on the burlap and discovering which medium works best on this substrate. So, I thought at first that the crayons would be a better choice, and they were in sort of a beginner point way, but really you need the acrylic paint, you need the plastic on top to make it feel to blend and to make it quite bold in color. Moving on to the leaves now, and I'm starting light and then going to dark. So I'm using that lime green color and just adding a little bit of the green with just a small flat brush. Going over the work that I did with the scribble sticks in the beginning. Adding the second color of green now, just giving it a little bit of depth. I'm coming in with the color Ocean. I've added quite a little bit of water here, just so that it's not such a bold color. I water it right down and create sort of like a really light color in between the flowers. I feel like what I originally added was really, really dark or really, really strong, really vibrant, really intense. So I go back in with the scribble stick, add a little bit of pigment, and then go back in with the water and try to dilute it out. and then try to make it so that it's a little bit of a blue background, not so much burlap, but more blue burlap, if you know what I mean. And just showing you here on the back, that stuff does not leak through. So quite a good substrate, to tell you the truth. Coming in now with just a little bit of gesso, adding some highlights. I'm trying to remember that I've got the light source on the left, and it's supposed to be a little bit darker on the right, but I don't really pay too much attention to this because it's sort of all over the place. So I was just too busy trying to understand my substrate, to tell you the truth, that I didn't really pay too much attention to light and dark. So yeah, forgive me here. I'm just adding a little bit of yellow because I see a little bit of yellow in her page. It's now time to just come in with a little bit of black, and this is where I tried so hard to add a little bits of shadow and try to make it more in sort of deeper, and give it a little bit, yeah, a little bit more depth. So, and this is where the magic happens, I think, because the burlap is a craft color, and then you've got orange, and it's just, you need some contrast, and I think black does that so beautifully. If you have your black paint watered down so it's this beautiful inky consistency, it really makes your subject matter pop when you add a little bit of black around it and you do a little bit of an outline. And when you also have a little bit of white to show some highlights, it really does make your artwork, you know, quite arty, believe it or not. So this is the stage where I was like, this is beautiful. I made this. I mean, of course I made it inspired by Dina Wakley. I mean, she is amazing. So I'm so grateful that I felt like she held my hand here and she said, put the flower here, now use this color here. And so this is me learning. And I want to thank her for, you know, putting her, this is Dina sharing her art journals with us. And yes, of course, people are going to try to copy her work, but she's sharing her process. That's what she does as a teacher. She's a brilliant teacher. So I'm just so grateful to have these books. I am so grateful for her teaching mind. And I'm just so grateful to be to be able to purchase her products and use them and enjoy them, and which is what she encourages us to do. So thank you, Dina Wakley. I'm going in now with just a little bit of black, and I'm adding black to the centers and black in between some of the leaves and the flowers, and in between some of the leaves as well, just to make the leaves look a little bit distinctive. I mean, even though this is abstract art, a little bit of detail makes it pop. So really enjoyed this. I think starting off adding a little bit of the scribble sticks and then coming in with acrylic paints is just such a beautiful way to ease yourself into it. So I'm using some of the stickers from Tim Holtz here, and this is just what popped up in my head. Cast of characters. These are the cast of characters. I thought this was quite interesting. I loved the idea that they were vanishing visitors. Now, you know, flowers don't stay forever. They come to visit for a little while and then they go away. So that spoke to me. The other sentiment that I used was just at the moment. So and with that I meant just enjoy the moment. They are here for a moment and then they're gone. We should stop and smell the roses, see the roses, be grateful for the roses. So that's sort of how I was feeling when I was making this page. I did go around each of the sentiments, putting a little bit of black so that I was outlining the sentiments and that they would stick out from the group. And with that, my page is done. And I'm so proud to say this is my first ever page on Burlap. Thank you, Dina Wakley. She did cop a lot of flack, she was saying, for introducing burlap pages, and she was adamant. She was adamant in keeping them in her journals, and she said it's just something new to try, and she is right, because the feel of this burlap page is amazing. The feel, the texture, the look of it, it is not like anything I have ever done in my life. Fiercely proud of myself for creating this. I will now have the confidence to, turn to a burlap page and paint something now from my own imagination or from a photo. So thank you, Dina Wakley, for this empowering lesson. And thank you guys for watching and coming on this little journey with me. So I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in my next video.